Okay, taxonomical aid is any technique or any procedure or any principle or any stored or preserved information which is useful for the classification of living organisms is known as a taxonomical aid. In last class, we discussed about the taxonomical aids. In this class, we will continue the same topic, that is the taxonomical aids. So, in the taxonomical aids, I gave you a list of taxonomical aids. In that, herbarium, botanical garden, museum, zoological parks, keys, after that manuals, monographs, catalogs, flora are some important type of taxonomical aids. In that, the first one here, herbarium. So first we will discuss about the herbarium. Herbarium. What is herbarium? As I already gave you in last class, herbarium is useful to study the plant information, and it is mainly useful for the identification and research of plants, not for any other organisms. Herbariums are exclusively plant, in herbariums exclusively the plant information will be preserved. Okay, so herbariums are the taxonomical aids which are mainly useful for plant taxonomy, not for any other organisms. So how to define an herbarium? So how to define this? Herbarium is, write down, herbarium is a storehouse or herbarium is the place where the dried and pressed plant specimens are, herbarium is the place where the dried and pressed plant specimens are mounted on sheets are arranged systematically according to a widely accepted method of classification. So this is a definition you could write for what is herbarium. Herbarium is the place where dried and pressed plant specimens are mounted or attached to the sheets and which are arranged systematically according to a widely accepted method of classification. So here it is not only method of preservation of plant material, along with that the material, the information about that plant, the classification of that plant should be given in that particular herbarium. Is it clear? So herbarium is just like a storehouse of dried and pressed plant materials or dried and pressed plant specimens which are arranged in a systematic manner by using a widely accepted methods of classification. For example, in India, for plants, the mainly using method of classification is Bentham-Hooker classification. So in India, they are using a widely accepted method of classification, that is Bentham and Hooker classification. So you have to follow Bentham-Hooker classification, Bentham-Hooker method of classification to classify the organisms. Okay. So to classify or to arrange these herbariums in a systematic manner with the help of a widely accepted classification method, which method we are using in India, Bentham-Hooker classification. The method of Bentham-Hooker classification we are using here. So how to prepare a herbarium? How to prepare a herbarium sheet, that we have to know here. How to prepare a herbarium sheet? What is this herbarium sheet actually? Okay, so here I will give you how to prepare a simple herbarium by yourself. Okay, first of all, you have to buy herbarium sheets. If we see here, it is a herbarium sheet. Herbarium sheet. So it is a paper, a thick paper. Herbarium sheet is nothing but a thick paper, and it has 30 centimeters of width, 30 centimeters of width, and 45 centimeters in length. So a paper, a thick paper, which is used as a herbarium. Actually, what is the common measurements in India? 30 centimeters of width and 45 centimeters of length. Okay, 30 into 45. The width and length here, 30 into 45. So how to prepare a herbarium for a plant or a branch of a plant? If you see here, to prepare the herbarium, first you have to collect the plant material in your localities. So in your surroundings, if you want to prepare a material, first of all, you have to collect a plant material from your surroundings. If a plant is very small, you can collect the entire plant along with the root system. But if you want to prepare herbarium for a big tree or a big plant, how could you collect that? So for that, a branch of plant should be collected with the flower, or with inflorescence. You have to collect the material. For example, in your garden, if there is hibiscus, so how to prepare herbarium for hibiscus? First, you have to collect a good branch of hibiscus along with the flowers. So along with flowers means it is not means without leaves. Okay. So along with flowers means leaves and flowers and inflorescence all will be there in the flower, in the branch. So if there is flower, then only we will study all the reproductive processes, or we can able to identify the methods of reproduction that will take place in that particular plant. So for a clear information about that particular plant, the branch which contain a flower should be collected. After collection, you cannot paste that on the herbarium sheet. So what is herbarium? Dried and pressed plant specimen. You just collected a plant specimen now. So you have to make that dry. You have to press that. Okay. So after collection of plant material, what is your work to do after collection of this plant material? So for the collection of the plant material, you may use a common knife, or you will use scissors, or even if you use a small blade. Okay, that's not a matter, right? So after collection of that, you have to press that. If any leaves are folded, or if any petals of the flower is folded, so to avoid all that, you have to press by keeping weight on it. For example, by keeping in your book, after that if you keep some weight on the book, or even if you keep that in a newspaper and keep some weight on it. So whenever you will keep that in a book or in a newspaper or in a manual, and if you keep a weight on that, automatically it will be pressed. So every day after pressing of some hours, if there is more moisture in that, it is better to expose to sunlight. So you have to expose that to sunlight. Whenever you expose that to sunlight, automatically the water which will be there in the part of the plant will be evaporated. And every day it is better to change the paper which you are using. For example, if you keep a branch of a plant or a plant specimen which you will collect, if you keep in a newspaper, after 24 hours, means after one day, and next day you have to change the paper because the moisture which is there in the plant that may absorbed by the plant, absorbed by the paper. So every day you have to change the paper. Or if there is less moisture, you may change the paper after every 3 to 5 days. That you have to notice here. So first you have to collect the plant material, and after collection of plant material, you have to press that to avoid the foldings. To avoid the foldings in the leaves and the flowers, so we have to press that. After pressing, we have to dry that. Okay, so total moisture should be completely removed. How to remove this moisture? Every day you have to change the paper. Okay, or if you keep in one book and one day, next day you will change. Okay, so if you do like that, usually all the children, you are playing games in school now with this type of activities. So you are collecting a beautiful flowers or beautiful leaves from the plants, and after that you will keep that in books. So if you keep that in your books for 2 to 3 days, what will happen? Or after 1 or 2 weeks, maybe many times you will forget. If you keep a leaf or if you keep a flower in a book, after some days or after some weeks you will forget. If you will forget, after some days or months, if you open that, how is the leaf or how is the flower? It is completely pressed or it is completely dried. So that is nothing but a dried and pressed specimen. A dried and pressed specimen, but there is only leaf or flower you are using, but here a branch of plant with leaves, flower and inflorescence you have to use, right? Then after collection and after pressing and drying, what should we have to do? So we have to mount that on the paper. That means you have to paste that on the paper. For example, see here, if it is a material which you collected, okay, like that, leaves. So like this, if there is plant material, you will press like this. But one rule I gave you here, what is that? It must be possess a flower. For example, here it is a flower. And here it will see it is a flower. So flower is also required here also like this. There are flowers. Okay, a plant material with the flower should be collected and that will be pressed and dried. After that, that will be pasted by using any gum or uttering substance, or with the help of thread also you may tag this. Okay, by making holes on either side, you will tightly tag this plant specimen on the herbarium sheet. It is herbarium sheet. Now the pressed and dried plant material is pasted on the herbarium sheet, right? After this, what you have to do? At topmost corner, sorry, at the middle of the top corner here, see, here you have to write the name of the plant, and if you observe here, at lower right, there is a box with the measurements of 7 into 12 centimeters. 7 into 12 centimeters. There is a box or there is a place. There is a place at the lower right corner, which is mainly to mention the classification of this plant. To mention the classification of this plant or the systematic position of this plant, we have to use this space. At lower right corner, there is a box. Okay, so in this, we have to write What is the common name of that plant in your area? What is the common name of that plant in your area, your local language? What is the name of that plant? And after that, you have to identify what is the scientific name of that plant. Scientific name of that plant. And after that, the classification by using 7 obligatory categories. You have to write the classification. What is the kingdom it belongs? What is the, to which kingdom it belongs? It is plant. There is no doubt it belongs to kingdom plantain. And after that, what is the division? What is the class? What is the order? What is the family? And what is the genus and species? So all the details of that. Which method we are using in India for herbariums? Bentham-Hooker classification. One of the widely used method in India for the classification of plants is Bentham-Hooker classification. Here also we have to use Bentham and Hooker classification method. Okay, is it clear now? Okay, so at lower right corner there is a box. Okay, in that box means it is not like any other thing, just it is like a small region which is just left for the classification of this. It is just like a border. Okay, you will notice it. So in this box you should mention the common name or local name, scientific name, and after that classification of that particular plant. For example, if it is a branch of wheat or a branch of Mangifera indica, that is mango, then already you know the classification of Mangifera indica. See, Mangifera indica belongs to kingdom Plantae, and after that it belongs to division Angiospermae. It belongs to class. It belongs to class Dicotyledonnae. And what is the order? It belongs to order Serpentales. What is the family? It belongs to family Anacardiaceae. And the genus Mangifera, species Indica. So that information you should provide here. Is it clear? So now the plant material is preserved. The plant material is preserved. See here, there is no decomposition or damage of this plant material because it is completely dried. If there is any moisture is there, that may lead to growth of fungus on it, or some insects may damage this. So to avoid that, a proper preservation also required. Preservation also required. Okay, that you should notice. I gave you how to prepare a herbarium in a simple manner by yourself. You can prepare this herbarium by yourself. See, in every educational institution or research institute of clients, they are maintaining a herbarium. If you are a botany student in future, definitely you will have to prepare these herbariums. Okay, so herbarium preparation is very easy. Okay, but we have to preserve in a proper way, in a scientific way, right? What is herbarium? Herbarium is the place where dried and pressed plant specimens are mounted on sheets or arranged systematically according to a widely accepted classification, a widely accepted method of classification. It is one herbarium sheet. Okay, so here the length is 45 centimeters, width is 30 centimeters. The plant material should be collected along with the flower or inflorescence. After that, that will be pressed and dried. Then that will be mounted or pasted on a herbarium sheet. After that, this herbarium sheet will be preserved. Okay, by scientific methods. Okay, a proper maintenance of herbariums also required. Okay, so that is clear. Herbarium. Then what is the use of this herbarium? How it is a taxonomical aid? What I gave information about the taxonomical aid? Taxonomical aid means any tool which is useful for the classification of organisms. Now, if you prepare this herbarium sheet for your local plant in your locality, if that plant may extinct in future, how could we study that plant? If you have a preserved herbarium, you can easily study the type of leaves, the type of flowers, and all other details of the plant with the help of this herbarium. Okay, so herbarium will provide an information about the plants which are rare or endangered, if that will be extincted in future. If that will be extincted in future, the information of that plant is preserved here. The information of that plant is completely preserved here. That we have to know. So, which type of plants mainly we have to preserve here? We have to preserve mainly rare and endangered species. Rare and endangered species, and also even some important medicinal plants also prepared in the form of herbariums, right? And one more, if we will visit a area, it is difficult to identify the different type of plants available in that area. It will take a lot of time. If we go to a particular area, either rural or especially in the forest regions, if we visit a village, if you want to know which type of plants are available there, then you have to search for the plants. It will take a lot of time. If there is a herbarium, if there is a big herbarium where all the local plants are preserved in the form of herbariums, then no need to go and search for all that. If we'll just visit the herbarium, all the information of that local species of plants will be available. Okay, so that will reduce our time and risk. Is it clear? So it is very difficult to study the plant species, all plant species in an area. If you are new to that area, it is more difficult. So if there is a herbarium where all local species of plants are preserved in the form of herbarium, you no need to go for field. If you visit that herbarium, you can easily study all the plants. You will get a knowledge about the diversity of plants in that particular region. So that will reduce our risk, and also that will save our time that we have to notice. And for researchers also, herbarium will provide a lot of information. Okay, so if a scientist want to go for a research on a medicinal plant or different type of medicinal plants which are available in different countries, it is difficult to visit all the countries and to observe that plants are identify that. If there is availability of all the details of the plants in the herbarium, so the scientist can easily do researches, right? So that is also one of the very important use. It is a storehouse of many plants. Okay, it is a storehouse of many plant specimens in the form of herbarium. So by visiting a herbarium, the students will get a knowledge about the rare or non-local species. So if there is a big herbarium in your place, that herbarium contain all the plants which are available in your locality. Along with that, different plant species may collect from other localities, and that will be prepared as a herbarium and stored. So by visiting herbarium, you will learn or will study about the plants which are not even present in your areas. So by visiting that, whatever the non-local or exotic plants are there, that will be studied in the herbariums. Even the plants will be extincted, their information is available in the form of herbarium. So that are the uses of herbarium. Is it clear? Herbarium, how to prepare herbarium, what is the importance of herbarium? So by studying various plants or plant specimens, by observing various plant herbariums along with their classification, that is preserved along with their classification. So it is a tool for the classification of plants. It is a tool for the classification of plants. So we consider herbarium as a taxonomical aid. Taxonomical aid. So in the herbariums, all the local species will be preserved, and the rare and endangered species will be preserved in the form of herbariums. That will provide an information about that particular endangered or rare species if it will be extincted in future. It will make the study of different non-local plants, in our own place, that is the local areas. And along with this, it is very useful for the researchers and educational studies also. Because of that, every botanical institutions Even the colleges and schools where the botany students are there, it is one of the very important step in the taxonomical study of botany. Okay, in the plant taxonomy, preparation of herbariums is very important. So that is about herbarium. Is it clear? What is herbarium and all information is clear. So after completion of this, which is the largest herbarium in the world? The largest herbarium is Royal Botanical Garden. The largest herbarium is the Royal Botanical Gardens herbarium. Royal Botanical Gardens herbarium. It is located in Kew of London. In Kew of London, Royal Botanical Garden is present. See, this is the largest herbarium in the world, where 6.5 million herbariums are preserved. 6.5 million herbariums. How many herbarium specimens are preserved in the Royal Botanical Gardens herbarium? 6.5 million. Okay, 65 lakh specimens are available in the Royal Botanical Garden. Okay, it is located in the Kew of London. See, one thing you have to remember: if there is availability of a good botanical garden means botanical garden is a large place where different species of plants are collected from their local areas or their localities, and that will be planted here. So if there is a good botanical garden, there is availability of more number of species of plants. More number of species of plants will be available in a good botanical garden. So if there is a good botanical garden, automatically there is a chance to maintain a good herbarium. If there is a good botanical garden, there is a chance to maintain a good herbarium. Royal Botanical Garden, it is one of the largest botanical garden in the world. Actually, it was considered as the largest botanical garden, but later in Moscow there is a botanical garden that is occupied the first place. So Royal Botanical Garden is also one of the largest botanical gardens in the world. Because of that, there is availability of a huge variety of plants to prepare herbariums. So which is the largest herbarium in the world? That is Royal Botanical Garden herbarium, which is located in Kew of London. Next, the second largest is located in the Paris. That is Museum of, shall I erase this? Museum of Natural History. Museum of Natural History. Museum of Natural History. Museum of Natural History. It is the second largest. The second largest is the Museum of Natural History located in Paris, where 6 millions, almost over 6 million herbarium specimens are preserved. Where this Museum of Natural History is located, it is located in Paris. So the second largest herbarium in the world is Museum of Natural History in Paris. Here, around 6 millions, over 6 million herbarium specimens are preserved. Herbarium specimens are preserved. What about in India? Is there any herbariums in India? So in India, there is Central Natural Herbarium. In India, Central National Herbarium. Central National Herbarium It is located in Indian Botanical Gardens of Kolkata. Indian Botanical Gardens. Indian Botanical Gardens located in Kolkata. Indian Botanical Gardens. So that you have to notice here in India, here 2 million species. Sorry, 2 million herbarium specimens are available. 2 million herbarium species are available. And Madras Herbarium in India, Madras Herbarium, which is located at Coimbatore. It is located at Coimbatore. Here in Coimbatore, 1.5 lakh, 1,50,000 plant herbarium specimens are available. Plant herbarium specimens are available. So that you have to remember some important herbariums I mentioned here in the world. Which is the largest herbarium in the world? The largest herbarium in the world is Royal Botanical Gardens Herbarium, which is located in Kew of London. Kew of London. Here 6.5 million herbarium specimens of plants are preserved. Herbarium specimens of plants are preserved. And after that, the second largest here, that is the Museum of Natural History of Paris, where 6 million species, sorry, not species, 6 million herbarium specimens were preserved. That you have to notice here, right? Next, in India, Central National Herbarium, which is located at Indian Botanical Gardens, that is at Kolkata. Indian Botanical Gardens, which is located at Kolkata, where 2 million herbarium specimens are preserved. 2 million herbarium specimens are preserved, right? And after that, Madras Herbarium of Coimbatore, where 1,50,000 herbarium specimens are preserved. Okay, that you have to notice here. After that, the information which is required to understand the concept of herbarium is completed. Is it clear what is herbarium? What is herbarium? Herbarium is a storehouse of dried and pressed plant specimens which are arranged in a systematic position or in a systematic manner according to a widely accepted classification, a widely accepted methods of classification that you have to notice. In our simple terms, herbarium is a place where various type of plant materials or various species of plant materials will be preserved. How to maintain a herbarium, how to prepare a herbarium sheet, and the details of method of preparation of herbarium already we discussed. After that, I gave you some important herbariums in the world and also in India. Right. After completion of this topic, herbarium, the first taxonomical aid herbarium we discussed here. Is it clear? Right. After completion of herbarium, next, botanical garden. The first taxonomical aid herbarium is completed. After completion of herbarium, botanical garden. We'll discuss this. Botanical gardens. So botanical gardens also very important taxonomical aids. Botanical gardens. See here, botanical garden is a huge area or a large area where different type of plants or different species of plants are collected from different localities or different habitats will be placed, that will be planted in a large area where the normal human activities are prohibited, where the normal activities of human are completely prohibited in the botanical gardens. So usually the limited activities of human will be allowed here. So human being is allowed into botanical gardens only for educational studies, researches, okay, educational studies, researches, and also for tourism purpose. But no human being will be allowed to damage these botanical gardens. The cutting of trees in these botanical gardens is completely prohibited. And human may collect some materials from the botanical gardens. After the death of plant, they may collect wood after death of tree. And also if there is any fruits or any other materials, any other products that they may collect, but the damage to botanical garden is completely prohibited, or human activities. The type of human activities are completely prohibited here. So what is botanical garden? Botanical garden is a large area where a large area where different species of plants, different species of plants. Botanical garden is a large area where different species of plants, different species of plants collected from various localities are preserved and protected by man. Preserved and protected by man. Okay, a large area where different species of plants are collected from various localities are preserved and protected by man is botanical garden. Is it clear? So especially here in these botanical gardens, they may establish a botanical garden by using local species. In that, mainly which type of species they have to select? Mainly the rare and endangered species should be selected for the botanical garden. And even they will collect plants from different localities or different areas, and they will be preserved and protected, that plants in this area. So if you observe the herbarium and botanical garden, in the herbarium will provide the information about the plant material or a specimen of plant. It is not alive, but here we will get a live plant. So botanical garden is the best taxonomic aid than herbarium. So in herbarium there is availability of plant materials or plant specimens, we will study about the plants. But what about the botanical garden? A live plant is available. So for researchers or for scientific studies, this will provide more valuable information than herbarium, that you have to notice here about the botanical garden. So what is botanical garden is clear. See, in the culture of India and also in the culture of China and Roman culture, in ancient days, in every home, there is a small garden. The people use it to collect various plants from different localities, and they will be protected in their gardens. They will be preserved and protected in their gardens. So botanical garden is a part in the culture of India, China, and also in the Roman culture. They have been using the collection of plants from various localities, and they are preserving and protecting the plants in their gardens, small gardens nearby their homes. Okay, so that is a part in our culture. But the first scientific botanical garden was established by Theophrastus. So the first botanical garden in the world was established by Theophrastus. That is important. Theophrastus is considered as father of medicine. So the first botanical garden Scientifically, the first scientifically accepted botanical garden was established by Theophrastus. That we have to remember. Theophrastus was the first person. Theophrastus. Theophrastus was the first person. Okay, so you have to remember here. Theophrastus was the first person who established the first scientific botanical garden. Sorry, here Theophrastus is considered as the father of botany. Hippocrates is considered as father of medicine. Theophrastus is considered as the father of botany. So the first scientific botanical garden was established by Theophrastus, the father of botany. So the first botanical garden was established by the father of botany, that is the Theophrastus. Theophrastus, that you have to know. So in this botanical garden, as already I mentioned, different type of plants or different species of plants will be collected from different areas or different localities, and that will be placed in a huge area, a large area, and all the requirements of that plants will be supplied by the human being, and also the plants will be protected by human being. So in the botanical garden, for every plant, they will give the scientific classification. So if you go to a botanical garden, for every tree or every plant, there is a board. They will just hang a board. In that board, there is information about the classification of that particular plant, and also the important uses of that plant also they will provide. If there is known uses of that plant, that all will be provided in that. Already I mentioned which is the largest botanical garden in the world. The largest botanical garden in the world is there in the Moscow of Russia. The largest botanical garden, that is the main botanical garden main botanical garden of Moscow of Russia is the largest botanical garden. The main botanical garden of Russia is the largest botanical garden. It is around 900 acres. It occupies around 900 acres of land. So it is in 900 acres. The largest botanical garden in the world is main botanical garden of Russia. Okay, Moscow of Russia, that you have to remember here. So main botanical garden of Moscow of Russia is the largest botanical garden. As already mentioned before, which was considered as the largest botanical garden, that was Royal Botanical Garden. Okay, but Royal Botanical Garden is only about 300 acres. What about main botanical garden? Main botanical garden is about 900 acres. So we have to consider main botanical garden as the largest botanical garden in the world. And after that, the Bundy's Garden of Vienna is the second. Bundy's Gardens of Vienna is the second largest. It is about 400 acres. Bundy's Gardens. The Bundy's Gardens is the second. Bundy's Gardens is the second largest that you have to notice here. And in India, Indian Botanical Gardens, already I mentioned there. Indian Botanical Gardens is the largest in India. Indian Botanical Gardens of Kolkata. Indian Botanical, after these two, Royal Botanical Garden is there. Already I told you about this. Royal Botanical Gardens of Kew of London, and some more. we have to discuss in it. We have to discuss in this botanical gardens. What are the important botanical gardens in India that we have to discuss? But already time up, right? So in next class, we will continue the topic botanical gardens.